أهلا بكم. وجوه الثورة الإيرانية الجديدة تتعدد وتنتشر في بقاع الأرض بحجم الشتات الإيراني. تلك أصوات تشكل أهمية كبرى بالنسبة للمحتجين داخل إيران، حيث يسطر الإيرانيون جرأة لافتة في وجه النظام الصارم المتشدد الذي يرد بقمعهم وقتل العديد منهم، سعيا لوأد التحركات التي تهدد اليوم كيان نظام الملالي. حتى الآن مشاهدين ليس ثمة قائد واضح لثورة الشباب الإيراني، لكن كل واحد منهم يشعر أن ثمة مسؤولية تقع على عاتقه أو عاتقها تجعل تلك التظاهرات مستمرة بقدر ما يتوقون للحرية من نظام قبض على أنفاسهم منذ أكثر من 40 عاما. تخطت جرأتهم كل حدود ولم تقتصر على النزول إلى الشارع فقط، بل تعددت لتصل إلى إحراق مجسمات لرموز النظام، مرددين مارك بار ديكتاتور أو الموت للديكتاتور، الشعار الذي انطلق من الداخل ليحط في أكثر من 30 عاصمة حول العالم. ضيفتنا اليوم هي مسيح نجاد، الصحفية والناشطة الإيرانية التي تعيش في المنفى، وقد عرفت منذ أكثر من عقدين بمواقفها المناهضة للنظام الإيراني. العام 1994 اعتقلت مسيح بسبب مواقفها، وفي العام 2005 فصلت من عملها كصحفية في البرلمان بسبب مقالة هاجمت فيها الوزراء. العام 2014 قادت صفحة على فيسبوك بعنوان حرية الخفية، وكانت ترفض عبرها القوانين التعسفية ضد النساء. وفي العام 2021 تعرضت لمحاولة اغتيال من قبل رجال مخابرات إيرانيين في الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية. سيدة مسيح، أهلا وسهلا بك على أخبار الآن. بداية من العام 1999 إلى اليوم رأينا العديد من الموجات الاحتجاجية، ولكن كل تلك الموجات كانت تنتهي بعد أيام أو ربما أسابيع قليلة. بالتالي ما هو سر انتفاضة مهسا أمين اليوم تدخل في شهرها الثالث؟ ما هو سبب استمرارها بهذا الزخم؟
I strongly believe that this time we should not call it uprising or protest. This has its own name. It's a revolution. And I'm going to tell you why. This time is different because, first of all, started because of the brutal death of Mahsa Amini. So that is why many women joined this and now they're telling not only we want to get rid of morality police or compulsory hijab, clearly they say that we want to get rid of a gender apartheid regime. They're saying death to dictator. And this time, this is the longest protest in the history. It has been 3 months, despite all the killings. More than 400 people got killed. 15,000 people got arrested. They are in prison. But what happened? Still, the more that the Iranian regime killed, the more people get determined to take back to the streets and say death to Khamenei, death to Islamic Republic. This time we see a sense of unity among Kurds, Baluch, among men and women, Arab, Turks. People are united, and this unity is not just inside Iran. We see a sense of unity among oppositions outside Iran and oppositions inside Iran as well. This is the first time that the unity scares the regime. Another thing which makes it different, this is the first time in the history that well-known athletes, part of national teams, saying that we're no longer proud of the Islamic Republic and we don't want to be part of national team. We see well-known actress, female actress, they're actually removing their hijab and saying that we won't be part of the propaganda and normalizing the Islamic Republic anymore. So you see, this is a marathon, but we believe that this is just the beginning of the end of Islamic Republic.
نعم، أنت على تماس مباشر مع المجتمع الدولي وتطلبون منه دعمكم، فماذا تسمعون منه بداية؟ وأنتم تحديدا سيدة مسيح ماذا تريدون من هذا المجتمع؟ تقولون له لا نريد أن تقوم بالثورة نيابة عنا، ولكن نريد دعمكم. بالتالي ما المطلوب اليوم من الحكومات ومن المجتمع الدولي؟
First of all, I have to say that sooner or later, Iranian people will get rid of the Islamic Republic. But with the help of international communities, definitely with the help of the leaders of democratic country, less people, less children would get killed. Right now that I'm talking to you, more than 50 children, innocent children, got killed by security forces in Iran. Where is UNICEF? We don't see any reaction. They're totally silent because they don't want to lose their office in Iran. That's beyond sad, and this is not acceptable. For years and years, the wrong narrative has been actually echoed on international media by the lobbyists and apologists of the Islamic Republic, saying that don't support Iranian uprising, don't support and don't help Iranian people while they're managing to take to the street and shaking the Islamic Republic. This is wrong. The only thing that we tell the rest of the world is that you have to take action, because Iranians are not just fighting for themselves. Iranians are fighting against one of the most dangerous warmongers in the region. So clearly, when we're fighting against the Islamic Republic, we try to save democracy across the globe. Right now, Iran is in Syria. I mean, Iran was in Iraq, Syria, Yemen, Lebanon. Iran is sending, by Iran, definitely, Islamic Republic sending drones to Putin to kill innocent Ukrainians. So that is why the democratic countries, the leaders of G7 countries, they have to get united. First, they have to recall their ambassadors. They have to cut their ties with our murderers regime. They have to kick out all the diplomats and officials from the Western countries until the day that they make sure the Iranian regime stop killing innocent people. Look, right now that I'm talking to you, US citizens, British citizens, German citizens, French citizens, Swedish citizens, they are all in Iranian prison. They're being used like bargaining chip to get a nuclear deal. We want the leaders of democratic country to stop negotiating about nuclear deal with the Islamic Republic and downgrade their diplomatic relation, demand the Islamic Republic to release all innocent political prisoners. We don't want them to bury human rights under nuclear deal. The dictators from Russia to China to Venezuela are more united than the leaders of democratic countries, and that's not acceptable. That is why we, the people of Iran, are calling on West to take a stance and stand in the right side of the history and support Iranian people.
في سياق دعواتكم للمجتمع الغربي بدعمكم، كنتم قد التقيتم عددا من الرؤساء، وأبرز هؤلاء الرؤساء هو الرئيس الفرنسي إيمانويل ماكرون، الذي للمفارقة يكاد يكون من أشد المعجبين بالاتفاق النووي الإيراني. ماذا قال لك سيدة مسيح، وبماذا تعهد ماكرون؟
First of all, I have to say that when I saw the picture of President Macron shaking the hand of Ebrahim Raisi, the butcher of Iran, I got furious and I asked for the same meeting. I was like furious and wanting him to recognize Iranian people, those who are fighting against the Islamic Republic. So in my meeting, actually, I mentioned about the handshake, and he explained, President Macron said that France is all about diplomacy, and that is why we want to negotiate with the Islamic Republic. I actually reminded him that France is also about revolution. France has respect for revolutionary thoughts and ideas. So that is why I actually invited women who, in my opinion, are the face of Iranian revolution, the revolution which is taking place right now, supported by men. One of them was the daughter of Minu Majidi, who got killed recently after the death of Mahsa Amini in the city of Kermanshah. Her daughter came with a picture of her mother, and she was actually looking into the eyes of President Macron and saying that you should not shake the hand of those who killed my mom. You should recognize Iran's revolution. You should shake the hands of those who are fighting for democracy, dignity, and freedom. So President Macron actually was the first president who recognized this revolution, and he promised me that he will push the leaders of G7 to meet with the leading opposition of, Iranian leading oppositions, with the human rights activists, civil society activists. And he promised that not only himself, the leaders of G7, the EU, they would actually recognize the people of Iran who are fighting for democracy as well. But let me be very clear. many politicians and officials that I met, especially the leaders of the United States of America. I had a meeting with White House as well, Jake Sullivan. He said the same thing, that we cannot bring regime change for you. President Macron said the same thing, that we cannot bring regime change for you. We're clear. We didn't ask, we the people of Iran didn't ask them to bring regime change or democracy for us. We are doing it ourselves. Iranian people bravely risking their lives, facing guns and bullets. They're asking for regime change. They want an end for the Islamic Republic. What we want from the Western countries is clear, that do not help the Islamic Republic and do not recognize our murderers. So they actually now have to make a decision whether they want to shake the hand of the killers, the butchers, or they want to stand in the right side of the history and support Iranian people who want an end for this gender apartheid regime.
سيدة مسيح، الإيرانيون يطلبون من الشخصيات البارزة في المعارضة وأنت من أبرزها، يطلبون الوحدة ويطلبون تشكيل قيادة لتلك الثورة. هل تعملون على ذلك حقيقة؟
We are all working, and this is the first time in the history that we see sense of unity among oppositions outside Iran as well. Clearly, we are amplifying the voice of the leaders inside. But as I mentioned in my meeting with President Macron, we need to have a meeting, like united opposition should be recognized by the leaders of democratic countries. And the conversation is going behind the scene. We're getting together. We want the world to understand that this is the narrative of the Islamic Republic, that they kill the oppositions, they put the opposition leaders in prison, they assassinate the leaders of oppositions outside Iran for years and years, and then they tell the rest of the world that if you help the oppositions or those who are fighting against the Islamic Republic, you help them to have regime change, then Iran is going to be like Syria, like Libya. This is wrong. They have to compare Iran with our own history. Look back, like before the revolution. We have to be compared to what we had. We had all the social freedom, and women were allowed to go to stadium. Women were allowed to choose what they wanted to wear. We had female judges. We had female ministers. The Islamic revolution became a revolution against women, against minority. And that is why now the oppositions outside and inside are united, and they have only one demand: to end the Islamic Republic. And then we're going to have a fair election, free election, to choose the government right like after the Islamic Republic. But believe me, we have so many educated, intellectual oppositions leaders inside and outside Iran. They can run the country better than these backward mullahs.
يعني بكل الأحوال لا أعتقد أن الشعب الإيراني استأذن أحد قبل نزوله إلى الشارع بعد مقتل مهسا أميني. سيدة مسيح، السؤال هنا، نرى أن هذا النظام يزداد بطشاً وبأنه يعني دائماً لديه مبررات لسفك الدماء. كيف تفسرين ذلك أنت شخصياً وأنت التي تعرضت لمحاولة اغتيال؟ كيف تفسرين ذلك وكيف تحمين نفسك من هذا النظام؟
That's a very good question. Listen, my brother, Iran is now suffering from internal crisis, economic crisis. Iran is suffering from, Iranian people are suffering for not having basic rights. These are all being imposed to Iranian by the Islamic Republic. We are suffering from sanction, which has been imposed by us, by our own government. So you see, they're always labeling the Kurds, saying that they're separatists. They're always labeling the West, saying that the West want to attack Iranian, or these are the narrative of the Islamic Republic. Our biggest enemy are the mullahs. They're killing people. They are the one actually shooting innocent people in the streets. And at the same time, they're labeling us and calling us warmongers. I myself, 2 of my brothers got injured during the war between Iran and Iraq. And of course, I am anti-war, but one of the most warmonger regime is the Islamic Republic. They're trying to label the West. I have to say that right now we don't hear any slogan in the streets saying death to America, death to Israel, or death to any countries. We don't hear any slogan in the street against any government except against the Islamic Republic because we believe that Islamic Republic is the enemy of democracy, dignity, freedom, not only for Iranians, for everyone across the globe. And that is why they're going after Iranians, dual national citizens, non-Iranian citizens, and dissidents outside Iran as well. Believe me, assassination, killing, murdering, torturing is in the DNA of the Islamic Republic. Yes, I was the target of the Islamic Republic to be killed, to be kidnapped on US soil, but I'm not scared of my life. What is scary for me is the world. The whole world is watching one of the barbaric and one of the most dangerous regime is killing innocent people inside and abroad. This is scary that the democratic countries do not get united to end these terrorists. So that's why, otherwise I sacrifice my life for what I believe. And I don't have any fear of being killed or being assassinated by the Islamic Republic at all.
نعم، تحديدا اليوم سيدة مسيح، ماذا يحصل داخل النظام الإيراني؟ نسمع الكثير عن انشقاقات في صفوف الحرس الثوري الإيراني، هل هذا صحيح بحسب معلوماتك؟
Right now, the Iranian regime is not that even self-confident to call the army to come to the streets and kill people, but they're actually using revolutionary guards. And it's how ironic many of the children of those who are actually shooting people in the streets, they're living in their luxury lives in the United States of America. Many of the relatives and the children of the Ayatollahs who are saying death to America, those even who were involved to take American diplomats hostage, now their children and their relatives lives in their luxury lives in America. We want the Western countries to address Khamenei, the Ayatollahs, the officials, and their relatives the way that they address Putin. You know, Putin and his relative, the relative of Kremlin people, all of them, they're being sanctioned, they're being isolated. We want the same because Putin and Khamenei helping each other. And we believe that this is the only way that the democratic country can get united, isolate Putin and Khamenei, and support the voice of those people who fighting for democracy.
في الختام سيدة مسيح، يعني سؤال عن هذه الظاهرة الموجودة دائما على شعرك، هل من رسالة أو من رمزية يعني انتفاضية دعينا نقول لها؟
I mean, this is the flower is my wedding ring. There is no story behind it. It's a symbol of love. That's all I can say. And with love and power, we will win this battle. We will end the Islamic Republic, who is one of the most anti-women regime in the region, in the world. And Iran, without the Islamic Republic, would make the whole world much safer place to live. Thank you so much.
شكرا جزيلا لك، يعني الناشطة الإيرانية والصحفية الأبرز مسيح علي نجاد كانت معنا مباشرة من نيويورك. شكرا.